Here I want to mention two standard type of quantizers that is used in practice. Um, so what we had is we had sampled value and values, and it is going inside the quantizer block, and we are getting the quantized value. Now the characteristic of this block, quantizer block, can be divided into two parts. One looks like this and one looks like this. In x-axis you have standard value, sampled value, which is you are giving to the quantization, and in y-axis you have quantized value, which is the output of quantizer. So you can say this is kind of a input output characteristics. Okay, so these are standard characteristics. Now one is called as mid-rise quantizer and one is called as mid-tread quantizer. Okay, these are uniform quantizers because you can see the characteristic is uniform. And mid-tread, why? Because if you will see at 0 location, the center is like this, and here the center is like this. So the tread, this mid-tread means this side, this part of the curve, and rise means this part of the curve. So you can see in rise you have mid here, and in tread you have mid here. So that is why this is mid-rise, mid-tread. So these are a standard uniform quantizer which is used in practice, and I'm gonna show you how to use this via an example. Okay, let's take an example. Here you can see I've written a equation. I will read. A message signal of 4 cos 4 pi 10 to the power 3t is transmitted by using 3-bit PCM system. You need to find parameters of PCM. Second, the given sampled values are as follows: minus 3.5 volt, minus 2.6 volt, minus 1.2 volt, 0.7 volt, 2.1 volt, 3.9 volt. You have to find the corresponding quantizer and encoder output. Okay, so you have to find the quantizer and encoder's output. In this case, in first case you have to find the parameters of PCM, then in third case you have to plot the quantizer characteristics. Okay, so the point of giving this question and solving this question is to make you familiar with the quantizers, the mid-tread and mid-rise quantizer, plus you will be able to find out the parameters of PCM like bit rate, sampling interval, sampling frequency, things like that. Okay, so we'll move on to solution. Okay, so let's look up to the solution. Here you can see we have given mt is equal to 4 cos 4 pi 10 to the power 3t. Okay, so this is our message signal. From this you can decode that your AM, which is the maximum value of the message signal, is 4 volt, and FM, which is the frequency of the message signal, is 2 into 10 power 3 hertz. Okay, so 2 pi f, if you extract 2 pi, the remaining will be your frequency. You can see that. Now one more thing is given to us, that is value of small n equal to 3 bits per sample. Okay, so we will approach to our first problem, that is we will calculate the parameters of PCM. So now you can see you have the value of n, small n, that is 3. So you can calculate L is equal to 2 to the power n, that is L is equal to 2 to the power 3, that is equal to 8. Means there are 8 quantization level, and you can represent those 8 levels by these 0 0 from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. Okay, we wanna see how. So this is the value of L. The number of quantized level will be 8. Then here you can see the cosine signal will look like this. Now this is the sampled signal, M and TS and TS. So only impulses will you can see, and the shape will take as in cosine signal. So this was the sampled signal. Now you will be quantizing it. So from here you can see the dynamic range is this, from -4 to +4. That is why the value of delta is equal to +4 minus of -4 divided by 8. 8 is your value of L. So you will get 1 volt. So this is the delta, means there will be a difference of delta, and the points will be at the difference of delta in the amplitude range. You wanna see how. What else can we calculate? We can calculate the bit period, that is 1 by RB, sampling interval, that is 1 by Fs. Now how we can calculate RB and Fs? RB is, we have seen, n into Fs, where Fs is equal to 2 into Fm, that is the from sampling theorem or Nyquist interval. Okay, from Nyquist frequency, you can have 2 into Fm. Now this Fs you have calculated is 4 kilohertz because Fm is given to you. Now you have Fs, you can calculate RB, which is small n into Fs, that is 12 kbps, kilobits per second, that is your RB. Now you can calculate the TB, that is 1 upon RB, that comes out to be 0.0833 milliseconds. Similarly, you can calculate a sampling interval, that is 1 by Fs, that is 1 by 4 kilohertz, that is 0.25 milliseconds. Okay, so the apart from this, you have transmission bandwidth, which is same as RB, and that is 12 kilobits per second. Okay, so these are the parameters of PCM, and mind you, we are sampling with the Nyquist rate. Okay, here Fs is equal to 2Fm is Nyquist rate. If you remember, you can go greater than this also, but usually what happens is, if not given, you assume it that the signal is sampled in with Nyquist rate. Okay, that is 2Fm. Else they will mention with what rate they are sampling. So because it was not given in the question, you take the Nyquist rate as the sampling frequency. So these are the parameters of PCM. Now we will be visualizing these values in the quantizer part, second part. Okay, now we're gonna look for the second and third part of the solution. So based upon the values we calculated in the first part, the amplitude range will be divided like this, from -4 to +4. You can see the maximum is +4, minimum is -4 volt, and we calculated L equal to 8. So quantization level will be 8. There will be 8 quantization levels, and the delta we calculated is 1 volt. So the difference between these 2 points will be delta. So every delta point you mark the amplitudes. So -4 volt plus delta, that is +1 volt, that is -3 volt. Similarly -2 volt, -1 volt, -0 volt, 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, 4 volt. You have marked these points. Now the quantized value will be the center point of these, means delta divided by 2. Okay, so -3.5 volt will be the one of the quantized level, then -2.5 volt will be one of the quantized level. Similarly -1.5 volt will be one, -0.5 volt, 0.5 volt, 1.5 volt, 2.5 volt, 3.5 volt. So total, if you will count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there are 8 quantization levels, and that fits perfect to our value of L. L was equal to 8. And now how you gonna encode these quantized levels? From 001 to 111. So if you remember, 3 was the number of bits per sample, that is why we have 3 bits, and we are representing each level as from 000, 001, 010, 011, 100, 101, 110, 111. Okay, so these will be the encoder output. It means if there will be the sample value lies between these two range, -4 to -3 volt, the quantizer output will be -3.5 volt. Similarly, if the sample value will lie between -3 volt to -2 volt range, then quantized value will be -2.5 volt. Likewise, the quantizer output will come. Now based upon quantizer output, if the quantizer output is minus 2.5 volt, the encoder output will be 001. Likewise, if the quantizer output will be 2.5 volt, the output will be 110 of the encoder. Okay, so that's how things goes. Now we have the sampled values given to us in the question. So minus 3.5 volt, minus 2.6 volt, minus 1.2 volt, 0.7 volt, 2.1 volt, 3.9 volt. These are the sampled values given to us. Now based upon this, we're gonna judge the output of quantizer. So if you will see, if I'll take minus 3.5 volt into the input of quantizer, my output will be what? Minus 3.5 volt. So that is why minus 3.5 volt in Q. Similarly, if minus 2.6 volt will be my input of quantizer, then minus 2.6 volt will lie in this range, which means the quantized output will be this minus 2.5. Likewise, for minus 1.2 volt, it will lie between 0 to minus 1.2 volt will lie between minus 1 to minus 2 volt range. So that is why minus 1.5 volt is the output of quantizer. Likewise, 3.9 volt will be here in this range, 4 to 3 volt range. That is why the quantized output will be 3.5 volt. Quantizer output will be 3.5 volt. Now similarly, looking up to the values of quantized value, the encoder will be given the output. The encoder will give the output. So for minus 3.5 volt, you have 000, minus 2.5 volt you have 001, then minus 1.5 volt you have 010, then 0.5 volt you have 011, minus 0.5 011, so this is 0 for 0.5 volt, this is 100. Okay, for 2.5 volt you have 110. For 3.5 volt you have 111. So that will be the encoder output, this will be the quantizer output, and these are given to you. Okay, so based upon this, if you will if you plot the third part, the characteristics of quantizer, so you will see for 0 to 1 range you have output of quantizer as 0.5. For 1 to 2 volts of input you have 1.5 volt quantizer output. So likewise you can plot here and in this direction as well. So in x-axis you have sampled value MNTS, and in the y-axis you have quantized value MQNTS. Okay, so this is made with respect to this. So minus 4 to minus 3 range you have quantized value minus 3.5 volt. So minus 4 to minus 3 range of input you have minus 3.5 as quantized output. Similarly, if you look for 0 to 1 volt range, this is 0.5. So based upon this only, what is the range? This is the range of input and this is the output. So range, output. So that's how you plot the characteristics of quantizer. Now if you look closely, this looks like a mid-rise quantizer, because at the origin, if you will see, it is rising from mid. Okay, so that is why this is the characteristics of mid-rise quantizer. Moreover, if you will see, if you calculate the maximum quantizer, that will be plus minus delta divided by 2. This is your delta 1, so it will be plus minus 1 by 2, plus minus 0.5. And if you look and check, if you have sampled value as 4 volt, then your quantized value will be 3.5 volt and the difference will be 0.5 plus 0.5. Similarly here also, if your sampled value is minus 4 volt, so the quantized value comes out to be minus 3.5 volt and the difference is minus 0.5. So it matches our question. The quantization error maximum you can calculate. So you can see how how the quantization process comes out to be mid-rise here. Now we gonna solve the same second and third part by using mid-tread quantizer. Okay, so I hope you got the picture how we are doing the quantization process. Okay, we'll go to the mid-tread quantizer now. Now with the case of mid-thread quantizer, you can see there is a two major differences are there. First is your L will not be equal to 2 to the power n, it will be equal to 2 to the power n minus 1, because in mid-thread mid-thread quantizer characteristic, one of the quantized value will be 0 volts, and that is why instead of 8 you will be having 7 quantized level in this case. So 0 is by default your one of the quantized value you can see with respect to the characteristics. So always there will be, when you will use mid-thread quantizer, 0 volt will be one of the quantized level always. So you have to be cautious about this, and you have to mark your amplitude with respect to this 0 volt. Now if L is not equal to 2 to the power n, it doesn't mean your delta value will change. Your delta value will be same, Vh minus Vl divided by 2 to the power n, which was 1 volt in our case. So delta value will be the same, only the levels will change, because one of the levels is 0 volt. Okay, so here you can see I have marked 0 volt is one of the quantized level. Okay, and this difference is total delta, you can see. Okay, so from 0 volt to 1 volt, 0.5 volt, there is delta by 2, that is 1 by 2. Similarly on this side as well. Now you mark other points as well at the difference of delta, but here you can see if you have 0 volt is one of the quantized value, then you will be having 7 quantized level instead of 8, and all the 7 rest of the one of the quantized level will be 0 volt, and rest will be above and below half. Okay, so you can see one is 0 volt, 3 are above 0 volt and 3 below 0 volt. So quantized level is -1, -2, -3 volt. Here 1, 2, 3 volt. So it's a bit complicated, but you have to keep track that L will not be equal to 2 to the power n, and delta will be same, and you start with 0 volt, then you will be able to realize. Okay, and here if you will see at last, here the difference is more than delta. That is the reason, because you are only having 7 levels. So once you reach 7 levels, rest of the values will all come to quantize to this level, in this range from 2.5 volt to 4 volt, or -2.5 volt to -4 volt. The value will be quantized to -3 volt or 3 volt. Okay, so once you reach the required number of levels, the rest of the values will be adjusted accordingly. Okay, so please look for this. These are the two major differences. You plot the you discretize the amplitude section. For mid thread you will be always having this 0 volt as your quantized value, and accordingly you mark other quantized levels, and where delta will be same as 1 volt, or Vh minus Vl divided by 2 to the power n. So these are the two major differences. I hope you get it. And here this is the quantizer characteristic, the third part which I have shown here. Okay, so you can see the same thing between 0 minus 0.5 to 0.5, the value is 0. From 0.5 to 1.5 it is 1 volt. Similarly from 2.5 to 4 volt, 2.5 to 4 volt, it is 3 volt. Okay, so this is like this. Okay, so here also if you will see, from minus 2.5 volt to minus 4 volt, it is minus 3. Okay, so that's how it is made. And now I am gonna give you the standard value, sampled value and quantized value table. Okay, so now you can see the output of the quantizer will look like this. So we had the sampled value like this given to us. So if you will apply these values to this quantizer, what you will get at the output, minus 3.5 volt lies in this range, that is why quantized value is minus 3 volt. Minus 2.6 also lies in this range, that is why minus 3 volt. Minus 1.2 lies in this range, that is why, sorry, minus 1.2 will lie in this range, so it will be minus 1 volt, sorry, minus 1 volt, and this will be 0 1 0. Okay, so minus 1.2 will lie in this range, which is minus 1, so minus 1, and then 0.7 lies in this range, 0.5 to 1.5, so that is why 1 volt. Then 2.1 volt lies in this range, that is why 2 volt, and 3.9 lies in this range, that's why 3 volt. And encoded output you can see 000, 001, 010, 011, 100, 101, 111. So for minus 3 it is 000, 000, minus 1 it is 010, 1 volt it is 100, 2 volt 101, 3 volt 111. Okay, now the quantization error will also change. If you have a sampled value as minus 4 volt, so the quantized value will be minus 3 volt and the difference will be minus 1. Here also, if your sampled value is 4 volt, quantized value will be 3 volt, the difference will be 1 volt. So plus minus 1 volt will be the quantized error, maximum quantization error, which is plus minus delta, not plus minus delta by 2. So you can see the difference between the mid-thread and mid-rise quantizer. So until and unless stated, you always assume that it is mid-rise quantizer, and if not given, then uniform quantizer only, uniform quantizer and mid-rise. If they want to you to use mid-thread, they will specifically mention, but by default it is mid-rise quantizer we use. Okay, so this is the solution. So I hope you got the important points. So about mid-thread quantizer, that is one of the quantized value is 0 volt. Because of that, L is not equal to 2 to the power n, and the delta value will be same, which is V peak to peak divided by 2 to the power n, and you proceed via 0 volt, and one of the quantized value will be 0 volt, others will be half above 0 volt and half below 0 volt. The delta value will be same. So you have to think about these things. So the characteristics, you have to use the characteristics of mid-thread and mid-rise depending upon the signal, and be careful how you plot these values. Okay, so I hope things are clear, and I've given the calculated the characteristics of PCM as well in the first part. So I hope you got the feeling of PCM and quantization both in this question. Okay, now we'll move on.